Hey Paradoxica, how are you doing? Right on in. I'm actually on time today.
This is it. The big day. Did you get any sleep?
Yeah, I went to bed at 1 a.m. or so.
Oh, what time did you wake up?
3 a.m.
That's only 2 hours, Apollo. But at least you have me. And the amazing Mr. Hat.
Here's looking at you, kid. My guess is Phoenix. Good luck today, Apollo. That voice. Yeah. Hey, get any sleep? Mr. Wright. I was going out of my mind with boredom, so I signed myself out earlier today. Somehow that place makes fake piano playing at the end. Indochine? Or Indochine? I don't know. Somehow that place makes fake piano playing at the Indochine pasta joint seem almost fun.
Daddy, do you know who Prosecutor Gavin's weakness is today?
Take a guess. Indochine? Hey Sachi, how are you doing?
How about Little Plum?
That Sherman tank of a mom? No, guess again.
That's too bad. You know, speaking of moms, you need to find me a new mommy one of these days, Daddy.
It's barely morning and you're at it already, Trucy. Okay, see, this is why I don't buy their father-daughter relationship. So, Mr. Wright, do you know who the prosecution's witness is? Making dinner? What you making, Sachi? Trucy, Edgeworth is right there. Trucy, you know that you don't have a mom. You have two dads, but you also have an aunt. Auntie Franziska. Actually, that would be really sweet to see, like, genuinely. Like, I said that as a joke initially, but, like, extrapolating that out further, like, actually seeing Franziska act like a... Franziska would 100% be like the lesbian aunt that just rocks up at Christmas with, like, a metric fuck ton of gifts. Alita Tiala, your client's fiance. She's going to be a witness?
But that seems odd. Why would she testify against her own fiancé?
You have to wonder what Gavin's up to. Something's going down, wow, I switched those voices. Something's going down today, that much is clear.
Well, not to worry. I've got my panties back.
We couldn't even make it 5 minutes. Seriously? We couldn't even make it 5 minutes in?
If we can't find a killer, I'll pull one out of there.
Here, I'll pull one out of there, yeah. Sorry, give me a sec. Court is now in session for the trial of Waki Kitaki. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is warmed up, and it's a sold-out house. It's gonna take me, every single time, it's gonna take me a bit to get Gavin's voice back. Very well, to recap. Well, yesterday's witness seemed more guilty than any other party.
Guilty of panty snatching.
You'd find out one thing for certain. There were 3 people in the park at the time of the murder. The witness, the victim, and the defendant. Correct, Judge. And today, I'd like to do something a little new age. I'd like to look at this horrible crime from the outside. The outside? The acquisition of the murder weapon, the preparation for the act. Our poor defendant told all, you see. To his betrothed. His betrothed? His fiancée, Judge. His partner for life, with no chance for parole. I've definitely lost Gavin's voice, but we'll figure it out. Very well, you may show the, lucky lady to the stand. Your name and occupation, Fraulein?
Alita Tiala. My occupation is future wife.
Ah, traditional values. I respect that. Many brides these days can't even weave baskets blindfold, underwater. What? Is that supposed to be a joke, or is that just like the judge being weirdly misogynistic for one line of dialogue? I genuinely can't tell if that was supposed to be a joke from the judge or if that was just like really weird dialogue dating. And you're here today as a witness for the prosecution.
To be honest, I didn't want to testify at first. But I couldn't hide the truth.
Honestly, another admirable trait. Fraulein, is it true that on the day of the crime, the defendant, Waki Kitake, confessed his plans? His plans for murder? How loud, like, do I need to adjust my mic? Am I a bit loud right now?
Yes.
Witness will please give her testimony to the court. I think I might need to bring my mic down a little bit. You know, I don't know how I streamed for like a year before I realized that you're not supposed to have your mic square directly in front of your mouth. You're supposed to have it like slightly down.
It was the day that the family health checkup results came back. When Waki found out that Dr. Maractus had lied, he flew into a rage. I'll teach him, he said. He took one of the family's pistols. And you already know what happened that night. I just don't see how anyone but Waki could have done it.
Oh, the pistol did belong to the Kitake family, then. Yes. With regards to this, an investigation is underway in the Kitake mansion on charges of the possession of illegal firearms. The bullet, and the bullet that took the victim's life, was it? Fired from the pistol the defendant procured? Yes, this has been proven.
How can you prove something like that?
Trucy, don't ask that question. You're telling me you haven't been told about ballistic markings? Bullets carry marks from the barrel that fired them, called rifling marks.
Rifling marks.
He said the thing. Think of them as being a gun's fingerprint, left on every bullet it fires. And when did you first hear about Waki's plan?
It was the day of the murder. I should have stopped him. I just didn't think he would actually do it.
Very well. Let's maybe begin the cross-examination. I think I put my mic slightly too low. That's the issue with having the way that I do these streams, like the streams where I'm playing on like a system, is that I have to adjust my mic every night back and forth.
It was the day that the family health checkup results came back.
Hold it! That was the day of the murder, correct? Finally finished cutting veggies, can start cooking. What are you cooking, Sachi?
Yes. Everyone in the family received their checkup results that day. When Wonky looked at his face went so pale.
But of course. He had just found out he had a bullet in his chest. It's a very good thing they didn't, scan him with an MRI. Pork stir fry? That sounds really good. So, you were there at the time?
Yes. And poor Wonky.
I feel like I'm losing my voices for these. Well, like, not just, like, my voice overall. I can still do it, but, like, Alita's voice sits in a weird spot where it's, like, it's just slightly above my normal, like, talking range. Like, it's above my... It's above what I would consider my mid-range, but it's at the line. So the issue is that if I try to go slightly down from Alita's voice, I clip back into the, to my mid-range voices, and it starts sounding weird.
When Wonky found out that Dr. Maractus had lied, he flew into a rage.
Hold it! That must have been, quite frightening.
He was furious. He ripped his report up into shreds.
Incidentally, I have a request. I had to request another copy of the to file as evidence. Wow, why was that sentence so hard for me? Incidentally, I had to request another copy to file as evidence. A bothersome chore, but one I performed without complaint.
Wonky's at an age where he's hard to control when he loses his temper. Of course, that little bit of instability is so cute.
Great, now he sounds like a psychopath.
I'll teach him, he said. He took one of the family's pistols.
I don't know why, but the grammar on that sentence feels wrong. It feels like, okay, I think I figured it out. Because these two statements are completely, like, separate. It's, I'll teach him, he said, as a sentence, and then he took one of the family's pistols, when it would have, flowed better together if it was the other way around. He took one of the family's pistols and said, I'll teach him. But, like, I don't know. I swear, like... It feels like 9 times out of 10, whenever I'm playing Ace Attorney, I end up nitpicking the grammar. So, is it easy to take a pistol out from the house?
Not really, I think. There's a system in place to limit access. But Wonky's a special case, being the next in line.
Perhaps his treatment was a bit too special, yeah?
Well, maybe he is a bit spoiled. I hear he got amazing presents for his birthdays. Last year was a switchblade made out of chewing gum and a chocolate gravestone.
Sounds like he has a taste for sweets and danger. Point here being that Wonky had access to a pistol.
And you already know what happened that night.
Hold it! What happened? Meaning the murder.
I tried to stop him, I really did. But Wonky wouldn't listen.
Our defendant was nothing if not determined, it seems. Last thing you should do is blame yourself, miss.
I just don't see how anyone but Waki could have done it.
Hold it!
How can you say that for certain? How?
Objection!
Air Forehead, you will refrain from badgering the Fraulein. It was the defendant, Waki, was it? Who took the pistol from his home. We know this for a fact, no? I suppose we do. So, how could anyone else have used this pistol to shoot the victim? They could not. Simple logic, yeah? That does seem to be the case. Don't have anything to say regarding this point. Could someone else have used that pistol? Based on your testimony, there was clearly one other person who had access to that pistol. What's this? Interesting. Let's ask the defense then. Tell the court who is this other person, or who this other person with access was.
Take that!
Well, of course, I mean, you, Miss Tiala.
Me? But why?
You were quite clear when you told the court. You heard about the pistol from the defendant on the day of the murder. In other words, you knew what he was planning.
Objection!
Let me get this straight. You intend to tell us that this lady stole the pistol from her fiancé and killed a man in cold blood on his behalf. I've heard of people doing strange things for love, but this... You seem a bit unfathomable, to be sure. I'm all for romance and for supporting your partner in life, to be sure. I think I would hesitate at murder. I'd hope you'd do more than hesitate. But what if a different connection could be proven? A connection between the witness and the victim. We might find that she had a personal motive beyond wanting to help her fiancé. That would put things in a slightly different light. What possible connection are you suggesting here?
You know what I'm starting to think? I'm starting to think that the police never looked inside that safe.
I have evidence showing a connection between the witness, Miss Tiala, and the victim.
Take that!
That looked like a medical chart. Found inside a safe at the Maractus Clinic. I'd like to draw the court's attention to the names written on the chart. What? Miss Tiala? However, why is your name on this chart? Well, care to explain the meaning of this, Miss Tiala?
I'm not sure what you mean by meaning, Mr. Justice.
Our warm little fiancé just froze over.
I was on the staff of that clinic until half a year ago. It was boring, so I quit. And that's all. Is there a problem with that?
Miss Tiala testified that you had no connection to the victim.
And I don't, now.
Now?
I quit half a year ago, didn't I? So there's no connection. Let me guess, you're the kind of guy who can't rest until he knows every last detail of his girlfriend's past. Am I right?
That's not true at all. Why, I already know everything about every girlfriend I ever had. Embrace the ones I love, past walls and all, no matter. There's no connection now. Doesn't fly in a court of law.
Doesn't fly.
She's one tough nut. She probably feels right at home with the Kitakis. You left your job at the Maractus Clinic, true. But you remained connected somehow. well, Mr. Justice. There was evidence that proves the witness is still connected to the Maractus Clinic.
Take that!
These sandals were found in the Maractus Clinic lobby. They're yours, aren't they?
Well, who knows? I'm sure there are lots of people with those sandals.
So sorry, Fraulein, but your act isn't working. Your moment of hesitation just now cost you.
What's with you? I thought you were on my side.
Perhaps you are unaware that toes leave toe prints. A simple analysis of these sandals will reveal all.
Well, now we see your true colors. I was wrong to cooperate with you from the beginning. I just wanted to help get Walkie back on the straight and narrow.
What things you need to worry less about Walkie and more about yourself. Sounds as though we need to hear a bit more about your story. Your sandals were found in the entrance to the clinic, which means you went there on the day of the murder.
Well, there's little point in denying it.
Very well, the witness will tell us about this visit. Why did you go to the Maractus Clinic that day?
I did go to the clinic that day. My first time in half a year since I quit in January. I went to warn him after all. I knew Walkie had the pistol. The doctor always was a third?
Huh? What?
The doctor always was a timid man. Too timid to admit his own mistake. Why else would I have gone? I'm not hiding any dark secrets. I wanted to tell him to be careful as an old friend.
By mistake, you mean? Mistake we heard about from the defendant. Botched operation.
He was a timid, small man, but I never wished him harm. I just thought I should let him know, you know?
I'm not hiding any dark secrets. Three phase, yeah. That does make sense. Yes, but there is still one thing which does not. What's that, Prosecutor Gavin? The sandals left in the lobby, of course. We can assume she wore these sandals to the clinic, yeah? Then why did she not wear them home? If it were me, I would have worn them home. I would have worn those sandals home too. So, why were the sandals left behind? Sorry, give me a sec. He pointed out the contradiction before me. There's probably a good explanation for this, right, Miss Tiala? Say, for instance, there happened to be a similar pair of sandals which you wore home by mistake.
Actually, that's right. I'm impressed, Mr. Gavin.
Oh, it's nothing. There is, after all, no other possible explanation. Yeah, forehead? Oh, what the? No fair. He's filling the holes in her testimony. Defense may begin the cross-examination. Man, like, Clavier is a lot more antagonistic in this first case than I remember him being.
I did go to the clinic that day. My first time in half a year since I quit in January.
Hold it!
Around what time did you go to the clinic?
I don't remember exactly, but it was after 9:30, I think.
Sorry, that was probably really loud. And that was the first time you had contacted Dr. Maractus in half a year.
Of course it was. He wasn't the kind of boss you made friends with.
Oh, why did you go to the clinic that day?
I went to warn him. After all, I knew Waki had the pistol.
Sorry I keep having to stop. It's always the issue with the first, like, hour or so of stream.
The doctor always was a timid man. Too timid to admit his own mistake.
Hold it!
You mean that act of malpractice on Waki, correct?
If he had just told Waki the truth in the beginning, none of this would have happened.
Oh, that operation was the start of this whole affair.
Oh, of course, if he'd told him, he might have been erased, like, or by the Kitakis much earlier.
Disturbing thought. We know that the Maractus Clinic has ties to the Kitaki family. He probably couldn't have gone to the police even if he wanted to.
And that's why I knew I had to warn him.
Your voice is edging very close to Trucy's voice, Tiala.
Why else would I have gone? I'm not hiding any dark secrets.
Hold it!
No dark secrets, eh?
What? Look at me however you want, Mr. Justice. You won't find a thing.
She's hiding something, I know it. I must have some evidence that proves it too.
You're free to think whatever you like. I went to that clinic with only one thought in mind. I wanted to tell him to be careful, as an old friend.
Hold it!
But then you'd be betraying Waki, wouldn't you?
No, I did it for him, for us.
She went to warn him so that her fiancé would not have to commit such a crime, yeah?
I didn't want them to take my Waki away.
There's no way she went to that clinic just to warn him.
Do you know why she went, Apollo?
Time to figure out what really happened at that clinic, and fast. Okay, so... Confidence save. Two rounds were fired.
Objection!
Nope. I'm just double checking the dialogue here. See, I think I'm either supposed to be presenting the gun or the bullet here, but I might just be outright mistaken.
Objection!
Wow, you take a hot minute to load Apollo Justice Trilogy. Went toward him. After all, I knew Waki had the pistol. Doctor was always a timid man, too timid to admit his own mistake. Why else would I have gone? I'm not hiding any dark secrets. I actually genuinely don't know what I'm supposed to be sending here.
Objection!
Oh. See, okay, that makes sense, but, I feel like the description should have had a little bit more to it if that's what they wanted for that. This chart was found inside a safe in the doctor's office.
Yes.
Why would this one chart be in that safe? Miss Tiala, you know why it was, don't you? Mind filling me in? Dr. Maractus didn't have the leisure of making mistakes. That's why he wrote up a false report and kept the truth locked away. Bad, El Doctor. And this is where you come in, Miss Tiala. The nurse who filed this chart was you, which means you knew about Waki's failed operation. Interesting. You were in the same position as Dr. Maractus. Kind of makes it hard to claim no connection, doesn't it?
You're bold for a novice, I'll give you that. Mr. Justice, you must know I was only a nurse. The doctor's responsible for the chart's contents.
This chart business seems to be quite important. Please amend your testimony accordingly.
Too bad, little attorney.
My bracelet's reacting again. I can kind of see that, Sachi. She does have similar vibes to Angel Star. Don't ask me how I remember that name. My bracelet's reacting again.
What is it, Apollo?
Felt my bracelet tighten just now.
Your bracelet?
Just like yesterday, like you said. When a witness is unsure of something, their nervous habit gives them away.
But I can't see anything, Apollo.
Eh? Then what's my bracelet reacting to?
Wait, maybe. Yes, that has to be it.
What has to be it?
Your senses, Apollo. They must be sharper than mine.
Huh?
I can't see it, but you can sense it.
I don't know about that, Trucy. I don't have some kind of special power or anything.
Listen to me, Apollo. There's a weak point somewhere in Miss Tiala's testimony. But we don't know what her nervous habit is.
Well, then what do we do?
You have to perceive it yourself, Apollo, with your eyes and your senses.
It's up to me and my bracelet. I don't know why, but the bracelet helps. Somehow touching it helps me focus. Let's give it a shot and bring down that testimony.
Why would I go to the clinic now for a half-year-old chart?
I wish I could zoom out a bit. Okay, so she fiddles with a ring, it looks like.
Gotcha!
Why go to the clinic for a half-year-old chart now, you ask? But you know why you would go now, don't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was quite clear, Miss Tiala. You have a nervous habit. The moment you said the word now, you used your right thumb to fiddle with your ring.
What?
She was unsure. I saw it. Now, that's the key word. Chart wasn't a part of your past. It was a clear and present threat.
That's ridiculous. Why, if that were the case, I would have had 6 months to do something about it.
Indeed. Which means something happened quite recently. Something to make that chart a problem for you now. Got her on the ropes now, I can feel it. Time to strike the killing blow, with evidence. Miss Tiala, there's no use trying to hide it. The chart became a threat to you now, because of this.
Take that!
A health checkup report belonging to the defendant. The Kitakis are trying to get out of the business. The health checkup this month was their first ever. What did you think when you heard about this?
Nothing. Why should I think anything?
Oh? I would think you were positively beside yourself. Because you were afraid. You knew that Walkie's chest x-ray, or you knew what Walkie's chest x-ray would feel. Wow. Why is this sentence so difficult for my brain? You knew what Walkie's chest x-ray would reveal. There we go. A full half year had passed since the operation. You thought you were home free. When the chart came back to haunt you. That's all, Your Honor. What just happened? Did the witness just admit to lying? I sensed it. There was a great aura emanating from her forehead. Very cool. So the lady was lying, it seems. Thank you, PlayStation 3 over in the other room, for beeping for no reason. That's correct. She said she had no connection to the Maractus Clinic. But her connection was deep indeed. A bit too deep. If the Kitakis got a hold of this chart with her name, she'd be finished. Isn't that right, Miss Tiala?
You guessed it.
Food done. Order, order! I did it. I broke her testimony.
Amazing, Apollo. I didn't see it at all. Daddy was right about you. Wait,
Tiala?
it's true that chart was bad news for me. That's why I went to meet the doctor that day. But that's all. I told him about Walkie and went home.
It appears this cross-examination is far from over. What? She had the truth from us. This is clear, yet it is not clear that this truth has anything to do with the case at hand. Very well, the witness will add this to her testimony. And we'll have a bit more cross-examination. So close.
You're still close. Keep on her, Apollo. Nothing happened at all. I warned him and left.
That's incorrect. There is a bullet
Objection!
inside of his safe. You say nothing happened in the doctor's office. I disagree. Take a look at this.
What's that? It looks like a squished up ball of clay. Kinda like you, actually.
This bullet was found in the Maractus Clinic office. Something did happen in that office, Miss Tiala.
Objection!
Enough of this joking around. The police investigated that clinic.
Objection!
Ah, but this was stuck inside the doctor's safe. Inside the safe?
I guess the police didn't check that far.
Objection!
But there is a problem. How can you say that the bullet was fired on that day?
Objection!
Weren't you the one who explained rifling marks to us? The pistol was taken from the Kitaki mansion that day. If the marks on this bullet match the murder weapon, then that proves a firearm was discharged at that office on the day of the murder. Not bad, Forehead. She's got a bit of D. Vasquez in her too, yeah. Elif, this bullet analyzed immediately. "30 minutes later, a report arrives. The rifling marks on both bullets are identical. Well, seems as though the bullet in the safe was fired from the murder weapon. Perhaps the defense would like to state their position. The bullet in that safe proves one fact. A pistol was fired in that office on that day. And at the time of the firing, the safe was open. The safe which contained the top secret chart. Do you think someone was threatening Dr. Maractus in order to open the safe? Only one person was in a position to do such a thing. Our witness, Alita Tiala. Order! 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 Mr. Justice, where are you going with this? Are you accusing the witness? Alita Tiala knew about Waki Kitaki's botched operation. She got engaged to him without telling him about it. As long as that bullet remained in his chest, his days were numbered. Do I have a spot in my glasses? I do. I have a stupid, annoying spot right in the middle of my glasses. When I tried to clean it, it just smeared. Great. Lovely. Come on. It's just smearing more. There we go, finally. And do glasses cleaning cloths survive going through the washing machine? I actually genuinely don't know. Washing him in the sink after stream time. Yeah. As long as that bullet remained in his chest, his days were numbered. What if she married him and then the bullet finally reached its destination? What?
That reminds me. Apparently, the Kitakis have been asserting themselves in lawful business practices. They're making quite a great deal of money. A fortune, if you will.
Various. She planned to marry him just to get her hands on this fortune. You keep talking trash about my Alita, and I'll sue you, lawyer man. Huh? Me? Yeah, you said. You said you'd abuse my Alita. I think you mean accuse. Same difference. Well, you can't have her. She's mine. It's me. I shot that doctor. Me. He left me to die, so I left him to die too, there in that park. Walkie. Just cool down a sec. Keep your hands off my Alita, or I'll... Stiala?
I'm sorry. It's been so long since I've laughed so hard.
Something funny?
Walkie, wake up and smell reality.
Alita, baby?
And the signature on the chart, the engagement. I mean, come on, it's so obvious. Even for a brainless, spoiled brat such as yourself.
Alita?
Your honesty is like a breath of foul air, Fraulein.
Hey, I wasn't getting out of this clean anyway.
So, family fortune is what you're really after.
That's right, I wanted the money.
No way! That's whack! I ain't trying to hear that. Something just made a noise that sounded like a kettle boiling. Like the whistle that you get with a stovetop kettle.
I should have done the wedding earlier. Oh well. By the way, can I ask you a question?
Who? Me?
I believe you said you were going to abuse me.
Accuse?
Of what crime, might I ask?
Huh?
Oh, I'm a bad girl, sure. I got close to that brat because I wanted his money. But he was the one with the pistol. He could have fired it into the safe after I'd already left the clinic.
What?
I'd never do a thing like that. It was definitely that silly brat.
Wait, but...
What are you talking about?
Trucy.
You had the most to lose if that chart was found. But I didn't have a pistol now, did I? Well, you could have taken Walkie's. You'd think he'd have mentioned that, no? All I've heard him say is, it was me, I shot him.
Objection!
It's only because he's trying to protect you.
Sorry to intrude on this lovely conversation. But the two of you are forgetting one critical point.
What point?
Certainly, the Fraulein wanted that chart. You assume she threatened the doctor into opening that safe, but then... wouldn't she have taken the chart?
Oh.
You see? That chart wouldn't have been left in that safe.
He's right. Stiala,
Yes.
it's clear to this court that you're not a very good fiancé.
Oh, I'm flattered.
Perhaps it's time you told us the truth. Tell us about yourself, including your actions and whereabouts on that day. Don't forget, we've proven that you were at the Maractus Clinic on the day of the crime. I don't know if y'all can tell. I'm having an absolute blast voicing Tiela. I love that, like, sly bastard villain energy.
Yes, I went to the clinic that day to speak to the doctor. I wanted that chart, but I failed to get it, so I went back to the clinic later. In any case, I didn't shoot him. You don't even have proof that I stole the pistol, do you? And that brat was spotted in the park the moment of the crime. Frankly, I don't think it matters if Dr. Maractus was shot in the temple or not.
Went back later.
That chart was dangerous. You understand. I needed to get rid of it. That's why I went that day.
But you couldn't get the chart then, could you?
And later that night, Dr. Maractus was shot. I heard about the shooting, waited a day, but then I had to go back. No easy feat with the cops all over the place.
Ah, that was you?
Apollo, that sound. It came from behind this door.
Someone's in there. A break-in. They left through that window. So you were the burglar.
That was you two? If only I had one more minute. Then I could have opened the safe and gotten the chart.
What? It's trespassing, and brazen at that.
Oh, is this a trial for trespassing now? Besides, you can't blame a girl for wanting to protect herself. They're gangsters, you know.
The case, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination. Admitting to the little crime to avoid the big one, eh? Hey, Not, how are you doing? Thanks for the hydrate. Damn, I've already drunk like a whole bottle of water's worth of water. And by that I mean like 16-ish ounces. Not a whole one of my like 48-ounce big fuck off water bottle. The weather is killing you, it's too hot. Honestly, I'm starting to feel that a bit as well. Like, it's starting to heat up where I'm at. And the sad thing is that, I don't have a proper air conditioner. I don't have a proper air conditioner, like, near me. The best I have is a fan, and the fan is great. It's just really loud, so I can't use it during stream. Because fan noise in the background of, like, mic audio is the worst. And I will not have it on my stream. Or at least, I will not have it on my stream from my mic. I'm not gonna be pissy at other people if it happens on theirs, but, like, I just personally hate it when it's on my own mic, at least.
Yes, I went to the clinic that day to speak to the doctor.
Hold it!
Why that day?
That brat was uncontrollable. He was ready to kill. And that would bring in the police. And that chart would become evidence. I'd be hung out to dry. But the police didn't check the safe, did they?
Well, they thought the crime scene was the park.
I'll make sure the responsible parties feel the heat. Such sloppiness won't be tolerated, yeah?
I'm kind of thankful for that sloppiness myself, actually.
I wanted that chart, but I failed to get it, so I went back to the clinic later.
Hold it!
Later.
When I heard what happened, well, I was too scared to do anything that day. So I waited until the day after. The 16th, was it? Of course, you and that meddling kid had to get in my way.
Why did Dr. Maractus keep that chart around? Well, I'm dying. My voice is all over the place because I'm fucking dying. It was clearly dangerous for him. I've burned it.
Because he's a coward. The chart was his insurance.
Insurance?
My signature on that chart, to be more specific. That made sure I couldn't betray him. In any case, I didn't shoot him. You don't even have proof that I stole the pistol, do you?
Hold it!
But you could have stolen it.
Could've. Is this some new definition of proof?
We'll ask Walkie. He'll tell us.
Objection!
Might I remind you, this is a cross-examination. You might want to keep your baseless theories to yourself.
He's right, isn't he?
And that brat was spotted in the park at the moment of the crime.
Hold it!
Yeah, but,
But what? You have nothing to say. This case is over. It was over the moment that brat was seen in the park. What's the point in dragging it out any further? Frankly, I don't think it matters if Dr. Maractus was shot in the temple or not.
Hold it!
the doctor was shot in the right temple, yes?
So it seems.
Let's review the facts again, shall we? If the killer shot from this location, the bullet would have struck our victim square in the forehead. However, the entry wound was in the right temple.
Yes. Yes, we heard testimony on this yesterday. Time of the shooting, the witness was standing here. That's incorrect. He was standing above. Before the gun was fired, he shouted. Victim turned his head to look, and was shot.
Objection!
But that testimony was proven to be a lie. Our egregious panty snatcher, Mr. Stickler, did witness the crime. But he was standing to the north, next to the trash can where he tossed those panties. If Mr. Stickler shouted from this location, the bullet couldn't hit his right temple.
Silly, silly attorney.
What?
Do you remember what you had for breakfast that morning?
Do you remember, Trucy?
I always have a glass of milk for breakfast. What matters is one thing. The doctor was shot in his right temple. If that's the case, there can only be one explanation. The panties guy was mistaken.
Objection!
But his location was proven. You can't write that off as him being mistaken.
Objection!
Then why don't you show us, Air Forehead?
Show you what?
Must I explain everything? Very well, let's recap. If the witness, Panties guy, was standing to the north.
I hope that y'all enjoy my shitty clavier voice. I'm partially like doing the clavier voice like this as like dipping my toes into like trying accents. And I hope that y'all are enjoying it. It's just the right amount of fuckboy, yeah.
Then where was the shooter standing? From what location did the killer shoot the victim?
Wait, witness was standing there. How could anyone shoot the victim in the right temple?
I merely laid out the facts for us. It is up to one possessing the shiny forehead to show us. If you can, that is.
Waki Kitaki was standing at the killer mark. Wesley Stickler at the witness mark. And of course, Pal Maractus was at the victim mark. Let's hear what the defense has to say. Where was the killer standing when they shot the victim? Someplace else. As the facts stand now, we can't explain this crime without contradicting ourselves at some point. But I know why. The real killer shot from an entirely different location.
What are you talking about? I don't see any other place.
Apparently Mr. Justice does. Let's hear it. Where in the park did the killer shoot the victim?
Objection!
It's time to raise the roof. And the stakes.
Eh?
Penalties are such frightening things, don't you think? But what if they were a bit more terrifying? Like so.
Double penalty?
Air Forehead wishes to take us in a new direction. Then he must be ready for the challenges ahead.
I love Clavier's pointing pose. Challenge accepted. It's justice time.
Are you sure, Apollo?
The key is the witness, Mr. Stickler's testimony. If we believe that, and we know where he stood, and the victim turned when shouted, there's only one place the killer could have been. The killer shot the victim from here.
Take that!
I believe we all owe a debt of gratitude to Miss Alita Tiala.
What do you mean?
Thanks to you, we had a chance to review the crime. And this time, we were prepared. We all know that Wesley Stickler was telling the truth. I love when Apollo Justice shouted, "It's justice time," and justice all over them. You know, there's a part of me that's kind of sad that, Ace Attorney 2 is called Justice for All, and it's not an Apollo Justice game. Like, imagine if Dual Destinies was the name of the second Ace Attorney game, and Justice for All was the name of the second game that Apollo Justice was in. We know that Wesley Stickler was telling the truth. We should have listened to him from the beginning. Wesley Stickler was standing next to the trash can when he saw the two men. Revolutionary 3D at 4 frames a second. He shouted, just as he told us in his testimony. And the victim turned to look in this direction. A shot was fired. The victim was hit in the right temple. Oh no. Oh yes. Which direction was his right temple facing at that moment? That's right, toward the noodle stand. Order, order, order! You're saying killer was inside the noodle stand?
Objection!
The PlayStation can produce mind-boggling effects. True.
Let's think about this a bit more, shall we?
Also, that picture of your food, Sachi, looks really good.
You say the killer was inside the noodle stand. Which would mean the victim, Dr. Maractus, came to the park, wheeling his own murderer in the cart behind him.
And this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'd think you'd notice if you were pulling someone along.
Objection!
There's something we should worry about before that. Why was he pulling the noodle stand in the first place?
Objection!
Let's deal with our problems one at a time, shall we? Someone was hiding in the stand. We have not come this far to talk about the possibilities. Let's talk about the proof, baby. Show us evidence that proves someone was in that stand.
Can I prove that? You want evidence that someone was in that stand. I think the bowl is the evidence we need for this. Well, I've got it. I've got it right here. Intriguing. Let's say what you've got. Show us proof that someone was hiding in the noodle stand. Now, I will say the up and down detection on the joystick for this game is really sensitive.
Take that!
Us, Prosecutor Gavin.
We have a choice between heaven or hell. Either our brains are damaged or our foreheads is. I wonder which it is.
This court finds Mr. Justice's brains faulty. Majority vote. Time to pick something else. How about showing us the right evidence this time? Show us proof that someone was hiding in the noodle stand.
What?
Show us proof that someone was hiding in the noodle stand. I actually genuinely am not sure. Because it feels like it should be the bowl, because all of the bowls were stacked inside the clinic, but I think I'm open to suggestions. See, my issue with that is that, the issue with that, Sachi, is that it didn't kick me back out to before I made the choice to present evidence, which is usually the indicator that you don't have it. Yeah, like, what I would like the hint, not I genuinely do not know. Because I don't think it would be the slippers. Like, the slippers are like the smallest bit. Look at the crime scene closely. Ow. This is the closest thing I have to the crime scene. I don't actually have a crime scene photo. See, I see where you're going with, like, the footprints, but I don't know what I would present to, like, the lamp.
Take that!
Okay. Apollo Justice, I need you to put more information in your descriptors. See, this description should have had something along the lines of footprints from these slippers were found at the scene of the crime. Like, just give like an extra little bit that mentions that there was something here. Like, I'm liking this case as like an actual case, but I'm having issues with some of the evidence doesn't actually tell you what it needs to tell you. Does that make sense? A Maractus clinic, and they're covered in paint. These slippers were found in the trash can near the crime scene. And a single slipper print was found at the scene, right next to the noodle stand. Oh, and Miss Tiala, your toe print was found in the left slipper. In other words, this is the proof that you were inside the noodle stand.
Objection!
Yet there was only one slipper mark found at the scene. Can this be called a footprint in good faith?
Objection!
Observe the diagram. A park pathway runs right next to the slipper mark. A slipper wouldn't leave a trace on a cobblestone path.
Objection!
Yet you still cannot say this is a footprint, yeah?
Why not?
You have an impression left by a single slipper. What if it was on the stand and simply fell to the ground?
Objection!
That's just dumb.
One more thing. A noodle stand is typically cluttered with tools of the noodle-making trade. There is no room for a person to ride in there.
You have a point. Someone have hidden in that stand.
Apollo, I think I might be onto something. I think I figured out one of our pieces of evidence. In order to make room in the stand, some things would have to be...
Well, Mr. Justice, we have proof that someone could have hidden in the stand. I can prove one thing. Someone did scheme to clear space in that stand.
Take that!
This is a noodle bowl from the stolen Mr. Eldoon's noodle stand. Yes, and what about it?
We discovered a large quantity of these bowls yesterday. In the lobby of the Maractus Clinic.
A large quantity of noodle bowls in the victim's clinic.
Mr. Aldoon was very clear about those bowls.
Well, I don't care who did it. At the stand, I'm finished. All my noodles bowls were in there too.
He's like, fuck off, and both you and I know that's bullshit. Yeah. Yet the bowls were removed. That night, there was space inside the noodle stand. Space created at the Maractus Clinic, no less. Right around the time that you were there, Miss Alita Tiala.
Stop! I won't listen to any more of these wild fantasies. No, not fantasies. They're worse lies than that spoiled brat's pickup lines.
I would like to remind the witness of her current status. The court does not consider you entirely innocent.
Show me an innocent. I'll show you a fairy tale.
In any case, the defendant has somehow made his point. And this has both a motive and an opportunity to kill Dr. Maractus.
More fairy tales. This whole trial is a fairy tale.
Please pull us back down to reality, Miss Tiala. I'm giving you one last chance to explain yourself.
This is it. Why was Dr. Maractus pulling that stand that night? And what was Alita Tiala doing inside it? Time to get to the bottom of the case.
That night, I went to ask Dr. Maractus for the chart. I had no intention of ever letting that chart fall into the Kitaki family's hands. But Dr. Maractus didn't understand. For some reason, he thought the Kitakis had sent me. So I gave up and went home. All I did was talk to him.
You knew about the botched operation. So you tried to get rid of the chart to save yourself.
I won't make excuses. And I did warn the good doctor. I gave him a chance. I told him that Brat got his health checkup report. And that he was coming to settle the score.
I see. Very well, Mr. Justice, begin your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. This is the last testimony. Either I perceive the truth or it's over.
That night, I went to ask Dr. Maractus for the chart. I had no intention of ever letting that chart fall into the Kitaki family's hands. But Dr. Maractus didn't understand. For some reason, he thought the Kitakis had sent me.
I'm thinking... So we need to perceive here. Man, your view in the perceive mode is very limited, isn't it? See, this is closer to how I would have done perceive as just like a general mechanic. Can you wiggle your fingers again? Thank you.
Gotcha!
All I did was talk and lie.
What? Show me proof.
Pretty sure about this one. I think I'm getting the hang of this. Little slip in confidence and they give it all away. The proof is you, Miss Tiala. All I did was talk to him, you claim?
Yet you can't hide your own nervous twitch when you say those words.
My twitch? What are you talking about?
You have a habit of scratching the area of your neck around the edge of your scarf.
What?
This is working better than I'd hoped. Her unconscious actions tell the truth she won't say. Habits and lies. 2 dots. Connect the dots and find the truth.
Don't look at me like that. I told you the truth.
It seems when you recall what really happened in that office, you can't keep your hands off your neck, can you? It seems that nervous habits are unconscious reactions that manifest when someone's trying to hide something. You can't hide behind your scarf, Miss Tiala. Something happened between you and the victim in the Maractus Clinic office. And I've got proof that shows exactly what happened. It's the lamp, isn't it? He tried to strangle you out with the lamp cord, didn't he? And that's why you're wearing the scarf, to cover the mark from it.
Take that!
What's that?
You're touching your scarf again. There's something unusual about this lamp. The bulb is broken, and there's a red splotch on the cord. Seeing how you hide your neck, I think I can come up with a plausible explanation for the lamp's state.
Well, spit it out. This talking in circles nonsense is killing me.
Very well. The answer is very simple, Miss Alita Tiala. Please remove your scarf. I really like Alita's dress. It's very cute.
Objection!
This is a trial to determine what happened in that park. Yet we seem to have drifted off target.
Objection!
We'll find out soon enough if we're drifting. As soon as the witness removes her scarf.
I won't do it. This is insane. I'm an unrelated third party. You can't order me to remove my...
Miss Tiala, afraid you've forgotten what's already been proven.
What?
Hardly unrelated. Please remove your scarf.
No.
I knew it. So I was right, wasn't I, Miss Alita Tiala? Your neck. Your neck isn't what I think it is. It reminds you a bit of Giselle Brett. It's the feathers. 100%, it's the feathers that pop out when she does her big dramatic animations. Something did happen that night at the Maractus Clinic. You needed to get that chart back no matter what it took. Even if you had to steal your fiancé's pistol to do it. But wait. Looking at this lamp at the witness's neck, it's like the very opposite happened. Exactly. The victim in the clinic that night was this witness, specifically. You tried to threaten Dr. Maractus, and he attacked you. That's what happened that night at the Maractus Clinic. Order, order, order. Someone please tell me what really happened.
I told you the truth already. I went to the clinic that night to warn Dr. Maractus.
The only thing Mr. Many Memo did wrong was accuse the lesbian.
That gangster knows everything. He's coming for you.
So your Michael had seen his last patient.
We have to get rid of that chart. Quick, open your safe. Give it to me.
Save your own skin?
What?
They know what you're up to. You want in with the family. And if they see that chart, you're finished. Being me holding the short straw. If I'm going down, I want some company. You.
And what happened next?
He jumped at me and knocked me to the floor. And then he took that cord. Palmeractus was serious. Deadly serious. He really tried to strangle me. I must have blacked out.
Oh, you were the victim.
And the red splotch on the cord was your lipstick.
Well, that came out incorrectly, but
I didn't want to remember that night. That's why I didn't bring it up. There, are you happy now?
eh?
I was out cold, almost killed. And you claim I then snuck into that noodle stand. But how could I?
Ugh.
Hashtag Alita did nothing wrong. Hashtag pal is over party.
Well, one thing is clear. Now know what really happened at the Maractus Clinic. It would seem that our victim was not entirely without blame himself.
I'm sorry. I get so nervous just by thinking of it, it's hard to breathe. I've told you everything. Can I go home now?
There's some responsibility for events that day, true. Yet if you are also a victim, this court would owe you some sympathy. Well, Mr. Justice, I believe this clears up the remaining questions for Miss Tiala.
When did this happen? Suddenly everyone's sympathizing with her.
I don't know what to think anymore, Apollo. I mean, is that it? Do we know everything we need to know about Miss Tiala?
Very well, this finishes the cross-examination of this.
Objection!
Not so fast. This party is just getting started. Now, we rock.
What?
Those spikes on your head are softer than they look. Or do you not have the stomach to go all the way?
Scooter Gavin?
Palmeractus choked Alita Tiala.
Yeah, Clavia's theme is great.
She fell unconscious. But what happened next?
He's right. There is more we don't know.
But she was choked hard enough to leave that mark. She would have been out for a while.
Even still, what if it was her? Or what if it was her in that noodle stand?
Alita Tiala, half dead. Dr. Maractus pulling that stand. And a bullet fired from inside the noodle stand.
What if it's all true? We might have already figured out what truly happened that night.
I'm thinking the way that, I think that, wait. Okay, I might be wrong about this, but the way that I'm putting this together in my brain is that Pal choked out Alita, stuffed her body in the noodle stand, and then carried it off to, like, try to dispose of the body. Because he thought that he had killed Alita. Waki then, confronted him with the knife. And so that's when everything went down. But okay, I think that's where this is going. Miss Alita Tiala, as you can see, we're not through with you just yet.
You really want to blame me for this murder, don't you? You too, Prosecutor Gavin.
Me? Fraulein, I only wish to know the truth.
Well, let's go back over what we've learned up until now. On the day of the murder, Waki saw his checkup report, from which he learned about the bullets still inside him. So he took a pistol from the family's stash.
Me? Fraulein, I'm just gay.
With the intent to give Dr. Maractus some of his own medicine.
And Miss Tiala heard about this from Waki. So she went to the Maractus clinic ahead of him, in order to get rid of the chart with her signature.
But then, something happened.
It sounds like you figured it all out. But remember, I was the victim. I was out cold.
But what about Dr. Maractus?
That does seem to be the problem. He had just strangled Alita Tiala. Perhaps he thought to death. What did he do after his crime?
I was just knocked out, not dead.
From the state of his clinic and the scene in the park, I think it's clear what the good doctor did next. Well, Air Forehead, care to guess?
Well, Mr. Justice, what did Dr. Maractus do? Maybe he did think that he killed Alita Tiala. Do I have evidence to show what he did next? What he did next? I kind of want to say the bowl, because he then emptied out the cart, but like, I think I'm gonna say the bowl.
Take that!
Okay, good. A large quantity of bowls were found in the clinic. Bowls that belonged in a certain noodle stand, which means the stand was at that clinic. Why? Because Dr. Maractus stole it and brought it there.
What? Killing me disturbed him that much? And so much he randomly stole a noodle stand?
It wasn't so random. Remember, he removed all the bowls.
Maybe because the stand was heavy.
Or he wanted to put something in the stand in their place. Ah. Wait, you don't mean... I do. Dr. Maractus did replace those bowls with something. Your corpse, Miss Tiala.
My corpse?
Dr. Maractus panicked. He thought he'd killed you.
His next move would be to dispose of the body.
That's crazy talk. You're all crazy.
Objection!
Then let's think about it, logically. The doctor had a place to dispose of you in mind. But on his way there, who should he run into but the defendant, Waki Kitaki?
Objection!
I question your logic.
Says Prosecutor Gavin?
The park is a dead end. Why would he head in that direction to begin with?
That's right. He had no reason to go there. Oh, now I get it. It was a trick. That spoiled brat made him do it. He made the doctor steal the stand.
Objection!
Tell me, why would somebody go to a dead end? Unless the park was his destination.
What?
Apparently the defense has an idea. Tell us where Dr. Maractus was heading with the stand. Here, please show us in this diagram. Where exactly was the victim dragging that stand? river.
that!
There? It's a river. Yes, Your Honor. I scarcely need to explain why.
A perfect place to dispose of a body.
He was going to throw me into that river?
You didn't have many other options, Fraulein.
I believe this clears up all of the remaining questions. The victim pulling the stand and the defendant before him. And inside the stand, you, Miss Alita Tiala. And then, the denouement. Wesley Stickler of panty snatching fame walks up. Seeing the two men, he shouts. In that instant,
And so, I shot him?
you were the only one who could have stolen Waukie's pistol. It had to be you. Well, Miss Tiala?
Nice work.
You mean I'm right?
I mean, you've done a fine job dreaming up a story. To get that spoiled brat off the hook. You're the one who's dreaming. Apollo's backed up everything he said with facts. If you're so sure he's making it up, then give us another reason. Why was Dr. Maractus pulling that stand through the park? Who knows? But there's one gaping hole in your logic. I think Mr. Gavin knows whereof I speak.
Or of what? Can't believe she's still trying to deny this. Neither can I, Apollo. That's true, Prosecutor Gavin.
Must I always be the one to point out Air Forehead's errors?
Maybe there really is something.
I believe the Fraulein speaks of Air Doctor's car.
His car?
That's right. The Maractus Clinic has that big garage.
Which sat a green sports car, was it?
Why would he steal the stand in the first place? If he wanted to carry a body, he would have used his car.
And so we find our victim without probable cause to steal that stand. And our defense without a case.
I have an idea. You know that green car? I bet it wouldn't run. It was broken.
Ah, what an excellent counter-argument, Fraulein. Too bad you're quite wrong. Don't tell me you've forgotten what happened to your daddy.
Daddy,
That's right. That night, the car that hit Mr. Wright was that green sports car. Oh yes, I'd nearly forgotten about it.
Afterward, he drove it back to the garage. It ran fine.
that's right. And so why didn't he use his beloved sports car,
A glaring contradiction, to be sure. More glaring than your forehead.
No. No! Order! 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 Oh, Mr. Justice, why didn't Dr. Maractus use his car to carry the body?
Is that a groan of surrender I hear? I'd better be hearing that later in the bedroom. Some advice. Now's a good time to review all you know. Everything you've learned over the last 2 days.
Everything I've learned. Justice, this contradiction casts doubt on your entire case. This is truly your last chance. Lenz will explain to us what happened that night. None. I actually genuinely don't know. Because if I say he carried the body in the car, that doesn't work. Because that, like, completely undermines the case. And this one also completely undermines it. So I think it has to be the car didn't run. Also, give me a sec. Okay, so... I think the car didn't run. I have an idea. It's all coming together. Also, I need to mute again, sorry. At least you picked a good spot to have to repeatedly pause, because you get to listen to Clavier's theme. It's all coming together. That night, Dr. Maractus couldn't use his car.
Now you're making even less sense than usual.
Not according to my information, Miss Tiala. Put one and one together and the explanation is simple. So simple, perhaps you can show us some evidence. Of course, proof why the car wouldn't run that night. I think it's the mirror. This is proof of why the car broke down that night. Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
Ah, it's proof of a malfunction, all right. A malfunction in Air Forehead's brain.
What accepts this evidence?
Haha, very funny, guys.
Just as you'll mend your malfunction and present evidence that makes sense. It's not the cell phone, is it? The cell phone is the other thing I can think of.
Take that!
Show us proof where the car wouldn't run that night. Oh, okay. I see. It's the magic panties because they were stuffed in the exhaust pipe.
Take that!
So, you know, panties again.
All sorts of things come out of my panties. Even the truth.
Alita's over here like, this is the weirdest fucking day of my life. Another crime was committed on the night of the murder. The theft of these panties. The latest in a string of similar thefts, actually. But that night, the snatcher was caught in the act. A brave young girl chased the thief until he hid. In the Maractus Clinic garage. Ow. Ow. Fuck. I just smacked my elbow on the edge of my desk. Like, funny bone.
What?
The snatcher hid the panties before running. Perhaps someone in this court remembers where he hid them. Why, weren't they found in the car's exhaust pipe? Exactly. By the way, I learned something yesterday. A very important piece of information. And I learned it from you, Prosecutor Gavin.
So you were here investigating.
And I was on my way home when my hog gave up the ghost.
Your hog?
Don't you remember when I told you to squeeze my hog, Apollo? My motorcycle won't start. A clogged exhaust pipe.
Too bad. It looks like such a nice bike, too. Hard to believe that it could break just from that.
Cars, motorbikes, they're all the same. Plug the exhaust and they won't run.
My, how interesting.
While Miss Tiala and the doctor were struggling. Yes, Clavier is in fact a hog rider. While Miss Tiala and the doctor were struggling, the panty snatcher snuck into the Maractus garage. Can you please just refer to him by his name? From that time until the time we found these, that car wouldn't start.
What? That's why Dr. Maractus had to use the noodle stand. It was the next closest thing he could think of.
Well, Miss Tiala? This wraps your doubts up quite nicely, I think.
So it does. Where am I? It's so dark. Can't see. Cramped. The pain. My throat's burning.
What's your problem? You, Doc. I know what you did. Ugh.
Walkie?
You lied to me. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give you a taste of your own medicine, man. Wait, let me explain. Fine. I'll give you your last request. Listen, being tricked, but not how you think. It's not just me.
No. He'll ruin everything. I have to stop him.
Cease this at once, you two.
Funny. This isn't the way it was supposed to turn out. Oh well, too bad.
Still one mystery. How did you manage to disappear from that stand?
The silence after the shot. I heard the witness running.
I believe we heard as much from Wesley Stickler. He went to use a public phone to inform the police.
Which is when I made my escape.
Just when you left that slipper print.
Dr. Maractus didn't bother taking my slippers off. I threw them out after I stepped in that paint, though.
That was your mistake.
No, my biggest mistake was coming to you for help, Mr. Justice.
Eh?
I believed in you. You and your anything agency. If anything would get Walkie declared guilty, it was you.
I believe we've reached a conclusion of sorts. Prosecutor Gavin, how is Miss Alita Tiala doing?
She has confessed to everything. We're processing her arrest now.
Prosecutor Gavin sure does seem calm for someone who just lost.
I think he already knew. He figured out she was the killer a while ago.
It's some advice. Now is a good time to review all you know. Everything you've learned over the last 2 days.
He lost, but I didn't exactly win either.
Something's the matter, Air Forehead.
So I guess time to announce a verdict. Not guilty. Court is adjourned.
Great job, Apollo. You did it.
Yeah, we did, somehow.
Walkie's off the hook. And free to become the gangster he's always wanted to be. And he has you to thank.
Hey, attorney man. You gotta pay for what you did to my Alita, Holmes.
Or to blame, I guess.
You gave my Alita back. Stupid pointy-head attorney with a death wish. Enough. Walkie. Ah, Mr. Kitaki. It's high time you opened your eyes, Walkie. What do you know, old man? I think it's about time you opened yours. Giving up the life, trying to become some sort of businessman? Don't talk about what you don't understand, Walkie.
I'm afraid the guard is going to throw them both out.
If not in jail, wouldn't that be a happy ending?
Hey, maybe we can help him out. We know why Mr. Kitaki needs to make so much money. Maybe we should tell Walkie. Oh, Walkie, Apollo has something to tell you.
I'm gonna make a safety save. Confident save. Huh? I do. You put me on the spot. What's that?
Show him the reason why, Apollo.
Why is Mr. Kitaki trying to become a businessman? I assume it's this. Think about it, Walkie. Think about your condition. I talked with your mother, Little Plum, yesterday.
It pays, but we need a lot of money right now. Clean money, that is.
He doesn't mean... You aren't really... Are you? I searched the globe. I found one. Doctor can take that bullet out of you, Walkie. It's an expensive procedure. Man, you got plenty of money already, don't you? I won't use it. It's the gangster life that did this to you, Walkie. I want to help you, and I want to do it clean. He looks so goofy like this. Please, understand, Walkie. Dad? Man, I see how it is, old man. Always you looking out for...
Walkie?
I lost all of the power behind that voice line. Listen good, old man. One day, I'm gonna take you out, and we'll see who's the OG. You try to hide in your business suit, I'll find you. Stupid old geezer.
My... Walkie.
Oh, it's as it should be. Mr. Kitaki. I liked him more without the puppy dog eyes. Glad to have met you. Not so good with words. I know a professional job when I see one. Thank you. Who, me? I don't think... Someday. Make you one of our latest, the Kitaki Lime Pie. It's opening a pie shop? So long. I love Claudia with a chance of meatballs. Kitaki Lime Pie also, like...
Well, let's head back, Apollo.
I genuinely thought that it was a fried chicken place. Like, I thought... the name was a pun on Key Lime Pie this whole time.
To the Right Anything Agency.
Hey, since when do I work at your agency?
Aw, we make a good team. Don't just stand there, let's get going.
Why not? She did help me out. There's a few questions that I still need answers. Like this power of mine that she showed me. My bracelet. If anyone can help me figure it out, it's her. I can't say I care much for what her father has become.
Oh, that's right. We have to go someplace first.
Huh? Where?
Why, to claim our reward from Mr. Aldoon.
Ah, salty noodles, right. You got his... Oh, wait, whoops. You got his stand back already?
Oh, and after that, you can come see my show. With a special appearance by the amazing Mr. Hat.
Oh, it's special, all right? Please, anything but him. How, I have a question. How many attempts do you think that it took, Trucy to calibrate the grab of the hat off of her head? So that it didn't just, like, smack her in the back of the head as it grabbed the hat, or, like, grab her hair or some shit? Oh boy, Turnabout Serenade. Let's rock. We love you.
Rock on, everyone. This party is not over yet. Get out your handkerchiefs for our special guest. That's right, baby. The night's just getting started.
Thank you for coming to the Governor's Guilty as Charged tour. This ends the first part of tonight's show. There will now be a 20-minute intermission. People fucking hate this case. Like, genuinely. People despise this case with a fiery passion sometimes. It's not as bad as Turnabout Big Top, but it has one specific DS gimmick moment that is really painful.
This is so cool. Us at a Governor's concert.
Huh? Did you say something? My ears are still ringing. Governor's, putting the stick back in music.
Well, I thought Mr. Gavin was really nice. Sending us those tickets at 20% off. They're hard to get a hold of, you know?
When I invite people to a concert, it's usually free.
Let's head to his dressing room, Apollo. You know, it's like we're a couple of VIPs. I've always dreamed of being a VIP at a Governor show.
Trucy, you didn't know who Prosecutor Gavin was before that case. What kind of fan doesn't know the lead vocalist's name?
Oh, this guy. Well, he was more like a prince, really. He let us in. Clavier. What a lovely name. He's so dreamy. Yeah, but I'm a girl. I'm supposed to swoon over Gods of Rock.
Cutest animation in the game. I love this animation. I'm surprised that this is the first time we're seeing it. God awful, maybe.
I bought all their stuff on the way home from the trial. I got 12 Governor's albums and 15 concert videos.
That was quite a bit of impulse shopping.
I got an advance on my next 15 years worth of allowance.
For Mr. Wright, that sounds like a real act of generosity. Who would have imagined me here? At a Governor's concert, watching Prosecutor Gavin rock. To be honest, he's kind of cool, and I'm kind of envious. Not that I'd ever admit that to Trucy.
Ah, you made it.
Mr. Gavin, thank you so much for the tickets.
And the invoice you sent along with them.
You were incredible up on stage, Mr. Gavin.
Nothing like music to brighten the mood up after a trial, yeah? And we're almost ready for our next act. I'm looking forward to it myself.
Oh gosh. This name. I think that this is literally just pronounced as it looks. I think it's just Lemrar. I've always either, like, the way that my brain processes this, I've always, like, I always, for some reason, read it as, like, Lemoir, with, like, no R's, but, like, other than the second R. Lemrar.
Lemar's singing, right? The Siren of the Ballad.
Oh, yeah. That flyer said she flew all the way over for this show.
That's right. I happened to catch her show while overseas. Her voice is divine. I knew I had to invite her to perform with us.
Lemar says, praise me too highly. Oh. Whoa, who's this guy? He's huge. This guy looks like a character from Investigations.
Ah, allow me to introduce Mr.
I forgot about Mr. Romaine Lettuce. Thank you, game.
Mr. Romaine Lettuce. Lemrar's manager, and her interpreter, incidentally.
Great honor for us to be here. Great honor for Lemroar to be heard in this country. That voice. I wish I could understand it. It's beautiful. I really like Lemroar's design. Also, I just realized, is this poster in the background Clavier in a police officer uniform? It's the Curse of Raw Lady. So, fun fact about this font. In Ace Attorney Investigations, if you pirate the game, the anti-piracy measure is the entire game's text being in this typeface.
Oh, it's Lemroar. I'm actually meeting Lemroar.
Lemroar, mysterious songstress. Her quiet, deep song glides through the air, lilting above a sparse but elegant piano accompaniment. If this is music, she's a real artist. Or says, long looked forward to this joint performance.
Ah, Lemroar, your voice. It is art.
Without his piano to guide me, it is but a voice. Oh, yes. I've seen this kid somewhere before.
He plays piano at all of Lemroar's concerts. He's cute, and he's a really good pianist.
Good pianists are a dying breed, I hear. So-called freethinkers when they see a child. Let me introduce Machi Tobai. Machi Tobai is blind. Well, he never strays far from Lemroar. I'm gonna be tripping over Lemroar's name. They're always together. Like characters from some fairy tale.
Lemroar's so, what's that word? Exotic. And mysterious.
She does seem quite pretty. At least her eyes do. Yeah, I really like Lemroar's design.
Hers is a kind of sightseeing music.
Huh?
She travels the globe, putting the sights she sees into song. Even though her appearance and voice are exotic, her songs remind us of something close and warm.
Sights into song. That's so poetic.
And she was gracious enough to put music to my lyrics tonight. The Guitar's Serenade. I hope you enjoy it.
I can't wait.
And now it's time. For the next part, we're giving the Governors hard rock a little rest. Lemroar, the stage is yours.
And members will not play during Lemroar's ballad. Only Machi's tenor notes and Lemroar's dulcet voice.
And my guitar, of course.
Woohoo! Nights like this make it all worthwhile, you know?
Should have learned to play the guitar. There's not much romance in Chords of Steel.
Shall we hit the stage then?
Good luck, Mr. Gavin.
Oh, trust me. You whoever you guess, you're probably gonna be wrong.
Take care your hearts aren't stolen away, yeah?
Let's get back to the concert hall, Polly.
gosh, her dress is so pretty. I can't wait to see Orange Clavier. Joke's on you, kills Gavin, yeah. There he is. There's Orange Gavin. Look at him. His skin is orange. I love Zero Time Dilemma. Because they're DS models, not. You don't like ZTD, Sachi?
Wow, wasn't Lemura amazing? I even cried a little.
I was surprised Prosecutor Gavin actually burned his guitar. So the victim is the guitar. I'm not entirely sure that I, like, fully agree with that. Like, I will say the writing is clunky and the models look bad. But, like, I do like a large portion of the actual story of ZTD. Though, there are parts of it that are very stupid. Especially the ending, but... I was surprised Prosecutor Gavin actually burned his guitar.
Yeah, and that even surprised me, and I'm a magician. What a production.
What a destruction. I don't think Prosecutor Gavin was expecting it either, oddly. He looked as surprised as I was.
Is that what they call risking life and limb for art?
The animation is great. It if you're talking about that cutscene's great, and the animation in ZTD is really goofy. Sachi, what about my boy Carlos? Carlos is great.
I think he's my new hero.
I'm not sure I'd call that art.
Well, what are we doing here? Let's get back to Mr. Gavin's dressing room.
But I will say, not a big fan of, Q is okay. I like Q, but, the other two, what is it? Mira and Eric, I think are their names? Yeah, no.
There's 20 minutes until the last part of the show.
How many breaks does this band need? Man, I gotta stream the Zero Escape games. Mira and Eric.
What the heck was that? I was never consulted about it.
Sorry, Mr. Gavin, sir. Ask the man in charge.
I play New Rock, not Great Balls of Fire. And speaking of fire, I have a good mind to fire whoever is responsible.
He seems upset.
Apollo Justice, were you the one that tried to torch me?
Hey, I didn't do it.
So much for risking your life for art.
The guitar serenade is ruined. Ruined.
Well, let's try to talk to him at least.
I'm not sure that's the best move right now.
You mean the guitar... that wasn't part of the act?
Part of the act would burn up a guitar on purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
My baby is murdered.
To be fair, I get the feeling that Clavier doesn't, exactly play acoustic guitar very often. He seems like the type to play electric guitar most of the time. Especially considering that there's literally 2 electric guitars in the background.
But it worked really well with the lyrics just then. Burning on in my heart, fire. Burn my love away, all away.
Yeah.
Wait, you think the audience thought it was...
Sounds like he got lucky.
They probably thought it was part of the act. At least, I did.
Maybe my baby died a good death.
He got lucky and he didn't realize it.
Anyway, that guitar was the Ferrari of guitars. All the speed, all the sound, and all the price. If I burned one of those at every show, I'd go broke.
Unusually frugal for a rock band.
Try saying that to Mr. Gavin.
Achtung, today's been one disaster after another. My hog won't run, my guitar case is broken.
Daddy told me there'd be days like these. Wasn't Lemura's song incredible? You worked on it too, right, Mr. Gavin?
Ah, yes, thanks. It was a collaboration. I wrote the lyrics and she wrote the melody.
You know, I was surprised you could sing in English.
I'm sure she's practiced a long time for this day. Ah, here.
What's this?
A lyric sheet. It's yours. Signed by myself and Lemur.
Yippee! Thanks so much.
Wow, that didn't come out at all. I lost all of the energy behind that sentence. All I ever get signed are client defense agreements.
Almost time for the third act of the night.
Oh, there's more?
Yes, Lemur's part is done. Now it's time for us to drop our groove again, yeah? Hope you're ready to catch it.
Now you want to draw Trucy as the yippee creature? Honestly, that would be really cute. I would love that.
Woohoo! Ready, Apollo?
I think I'll pass. I like the bit with Lemur, but the rest could use a volume knob, turned way down.
Apollo, you're getting old.
Does 22 qualify as old to a 15-year-old? Absolutely. 18 counts as old to a 15-year-old, Apollo.
Well, I'm going.
Let the old folks rest backstage, yeah? Time to rock.
Hey, you're older than I am, are you? Not by much. Apollo's like 22, I think. Main lettuce. Postcard of Lemur. I can't read a single word of the sentence at the bottom. Trucy might want one of these. I'll show it to her next time we're here. Thick leather gloves and sunglasses. Maybe I'll try these on. On second thought, no. They might be evidence for one of Prosecutor Gavin's cases. Delicious bowl of stew. Made of plastic. Bottom of the bowl has a G on it. Sell these at concerts? Whatever happened to t-shirts? That guitar looks like it was made out of a cop car door. That's right, Teresa's not here to set me straight. Now I feel kind of lonely. There's graffiti on the mirror and lipstick. Wait, but the Gaviners are all guys. Maybe Prosecutor Gavin wears lipstick? I'll have to find out later tonight. Chains dangle from the ceiling. They aren't glimmerous, but I bet Detective Sky'd have something to say about them. Police uniform. Next to it is a policeman's hat and a pair of handcuffs. Guess the band's really into the police. It must be Prosecutor Gavin's bad influence. I thought rock and roll was all about being rebellious. That's an odd guitar. Design is that character I saw in the hallway, but with sunglasses. What a strange mascot. He looks like he's crying. Since when was rock about crying? Should name this guy Emo. Why? What? Oh wow, stream. Why is stream so far behind? It's that fucking badger. Okay, maybe it's just my end. My stream layout was like really far behind for some reason. Some kids must see this and actually want to be cops. Somehow I don't think a rockin' defense attorney would work too well. An old-fashioned speaker hangs from the ceiling. That must be to monitor what's happening out on stage. I think we have the same kind for my school's PA system. I definitely had these in my high school as well, for the PA system. I forget, the whole thing of absolutely hating the Blue Badger is the thing that spawned from Ace Attorney Investigations, right? Well, that and the stupid-ass videotape from, the stupid videotape from Rise from the Ashes as well. Do you think Clavier likes the Police, the band? I think I think he might see them as rivals.
Hey, it's you. That right kid.
Detective Sky. I'll let that right kid business pass.
Call me Emma. There's no need for titles once you've shared a bottle of fingerprinting powder.
That's a new one. So, Emma, what are you doing here?
Isn't it obvious? I'm snacking. You think I want to be here? Me in charge of security in this pit?
Security? Did something happen?
There's no knowing with that glimmerous fop. Apparently he's all upset because something was stolen. He wanted security back here during the concert. Where does he get off acting like he's some big rock star?
He is a big rock star. Honestly, completely random thought. I've lost that random thought. Oh, never mind, I got it back. I genuinely think that it would be a cool idea for Ace Attorney 7 to, instead of introducing a brand new prosecutor, I feel like Ace Attorney 7 would do something, would be really cool if they did something along the lines of just bring back the previous prosecutors. Give me another game with Franziska as the prosecutor, please. Yeah, she wants to be the assistant to Edgeworth and Wright, but Edgeworth has got a what's her name? Kay Faraday, I think is her name, from Investigations. And Phoenix has got Maya, so.
Hey, you listening to me?
So where's this door here lead to?
This one? That's Lemur's dressing room. Don't even think of going in there unless you want to think of Snackoos in your face.
She ever in a good mood, I wonder? Phoenix also sort of quit. Yeah, but... you know... Maybe this is like, maybe this is the part of me that likes sort of like fan fiction that fills in gaps in continuity. But, I want to see, like, the events immediately preceding and, happening directly after Phoenix getting disbarred. Like, I want to see, like, Maya and Edgeworth's reaction to it. Emma? Never seen someone eat snacks with such vehemence. Better give her a wide berth. She snackooed me. That would be Edgeworth crying for a month in his fancy car. So this is Lemur's dressing room.
If you even think about going in there, I'll...
What was that? Was that a gunshot? Something's going on.
You, out of my way.
Emma?
Lemur! Lemur! It's not locked. I'm going in.
What's that awful noise? Oh, it's the concert. Fucking rude, Apollo. It's Lemur's manager. Mr. What's his name?
Latouche. Oh no. Hey, you.
Me?
Watch this room for me. I have to go call for backup.
Right, understood. Danganronpa noises. You want me to make sure no one comes in, right?
And don't touch anything. I'll be right back.
What's going on? I just talked to him and now... Ugh. He's alive. Mr. Latouche, can you hear me? Shot. I was shot. Who? Who shot you? I don't know. Ask what? Ask witness. Witness? There was a witness? Who? Cold. So cold. Witness. You're cold? Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Help is on the way. Can't see. Hang in there, Mr. Latouche. Tell me, who was the witness? Witness is... Siren. Siren? How can a siren witness anything? Mr. Latouche! Emma! What was that? Who's there?
What's wrong?
Emma, did you see anyone just now?
Huh? No.
Could have sworn I heard a door close.
The concert's been canceled. Backup's on its way. Is Mr. Latouche...
Also, yeah, no shit, you got shot.
He's dead, isn't he? That's terrible.
I lost him. Romain Latouche, shot. I heard his last words. The witness is the siren, whatever that means. Oh god, what do I want to give? And use lockdown. We took names and addresses before letting the crowd go. Good work, Darian. Let you know if I find out anything about the victim. Later.
It's investigation time, yeah, Fraulein Detective?
I don't need some rock and rolling I don't need some rock and rolling prosecutor to tell me that.
One request I must make. Tell no one, on staff or otherwise, anything about this.
Oh, a gag order.
No word gets out other than Mr. Latouche is dead. No word of the cause of death or of the murder.
Tell no one. Not even Lemurar?
Not even her. We must keep everything under wraps.
Is that fuck-ass badger hitting the Yoinky Splinky?
Oh, one other thing. I'll need your signature on this, Air Forehead. Yours too, Fraulein.
On that? An investigation request?
Why just us?
You two are civilians. It's standard procedure.
That should be okay to sign, I think.
Right, well, get started with the investigation.
I'm on it already.
That wasn't quite your voice, that was closer to...
Ah, and one tip for you.
Huh? Me?
Try not to get in the Fraulein Detective's way. She's in a foul mood today.
Gee, I wonder why. We're all questioned as witnesses. Now none of us can go home. We'll investigate, alright? Our way.
And somehow, I don't see us getting back to that crime scene anytime soon.
Still can't believe I was there when it happened. Not an experience I'd care to repeat anytime soon.
This is no time for navel gazing. Let's crack this case.
I worry about Trucy. She seems to have a very loose idea of what it means to be an attorney. Of course, that's not surprising considering who her father is.
Something the matter?
No, let's get cracking. The only one who was there. The only one who heard Mr. Latouche's last words. The witness is... Siren. First order of business is to find out what he meant by siren.
What's that? It looks like some kind of future phone.
Not a phone, a transceiver. It's called a headset.
What's a headset doing on the floor? Wait, do you think Mr. Latouche might have been wearing it? Like one of those bodyguards.
I don't think he was wearing one when we first met. The LED on this thing is lit. It must be on.
And that's the Blue Badger, the police mascot.
Does the Blue Badger have something to do with the band?
Well, yeah. The Blue Badger is the Governor's mascot, too.
Go figure.
I hear those things fly off the shelves.
I'll have to take a closer look at one someday. Looks like an instrument case. A big instrument case.
There's a great magic trick you can do with one of these.
Huh? What kind?
The miraculous beautiful girl escapes the case illusion.
So it's the girl who's miraculous, not the escape?
So picky.
I thought she was gonna talk about the one where you shove swords in it.
I'm thirsty, Apollo.
Want something to drink?
How about this one? A Steel Samurai soda.
I want a real steel flavor.
Huh?
Here, my treat.
Hey, this isn't enough change.
Jeans outside are cheaper. This one's highway robbery. Concert poster for the Guilty as Charged tour.
I love that name, Guilty as Charged.
Seems kind of negative to me.
Well, why don't we do the opposite? Magician Trucy presents the Innocent as Charged tour.
Kinda loses its impact, doesn't it? Gosh, completely random thing. These racks that have wires in them, my high school had these all over the back half of the building. Especially in, like, I used to play violin. I don't know if I've ever said this on stream before, but actually, no, I've definitely said it on stream before because Pine played cello as well. And we were in orchestra together, and we've talked about ridiculous stories about our time in orchestra. But, these wire, like, holders, we had, like, 25 of them in one room, like, in terms of, like, segments. It was, like, a 25 segment long one where they all had, like, these individual bundles of wires in them, and I don't know. It's just a weirdly specific memory that I have. We also got some shit stuck on one once. I don't remember what we got stuck up there, though. I just remember it being a pain in the ass because we were all like, shit, how do we get that down? Lemurar's dressing room.
The scene of the crime.
We're not supposed to go in there.
But aren't we involved? Aren't we duty-bound to investigate?
Sadly, no. The situation being what it is, now may be our best chance to do some snooping. That's the Governor's dressing room. Crime scene was in Lemurar's dressing room. Next door.
Never know where clues might be hiding, Apollo. Let's case this joint.
After you, Trucy, P.I. I still have my violin from high school, actually.
Oh, it's you. I figured you'd come.
You have to let us investigate the scene, please.
You're attorneys, no? And shouldn't you wait until you have a client?
Latus did tell me to ask the witness, the siren. With his dying breath, no less. Doesn't that count?
Glare at me all you want. You'll get no snacks from me. Please, think of poor Lemurar. Oh well, I suppose you did find the body with me.
Great, let's get to it.
Right. Just try not to touch anything.
She's letting us look, and she's not munching her snacks. This bodes well. There are clues here, and I can feel it. Leave no hanger unhung, leave no spot unspotted.
Are those bullet holes?
Looks like it. There are two here in the wall.
From the look of it, the victim was shot once in the shoulder. The first shot must have missed. But there are two holes. Wouldn't that mean two misses? The murder weapon is a .45 caliber revolver. It's very powerful. I believe what we're seeing here is the mark left by the second bullet after it passed through his shoulder. Ouch, it sounds painful.
No kidding. I wonder about this murder weapon. Keep that in mind. It's important for later. That speaker was blaring at the time of the murder.
Ah, and that's for monitoring the stage from this room. Monitoring? It pipes in a real-time feed from the stage microphones. Useful for knowing when your set is coming up.
Yes, I seem to recall it being loud and vaguely musical. Made it hard to hear Mr. Latusse's last words.
Oh, what a pretty brooch. Oh, Emma? You're not gonna say, "Can I have it, please," are you? Oh. Look, you may be a cute little girl of 15, but that doesn't get you any special treatment with me. Oh.
It's not healthy to envy the young, Emma.
It's not about envy, it's about tampering with evidence.
Note to self, Emma lacks a sense of humor. Use caution.
You need to learn to respect your elders a little.
Something seems so familiar about that brooch. Brooch, eh. I always... Why? Why do I always have to, like, trip over saying brooch? At minimum once. Trucy's still after that brooch, clearly.
No way. If you want one that bad, get your daddy to buy it for you. Daddy always says, "Trucy, if you want something, go find or borrow it. Oh, and when in doubt, beg." Leave it to Mr. Wright.
I should be concerned about Trucy's future. But I'm more concerned about the owner of that brooch. You know, thinking about it more, that's actually pretty, I was about to say, that's pretty in character for Phoenix. Huh, another ladder.
Actually, it's technically a stepladder.
Well, hello, Miss Fancy Pants. Please forgive my lack of ladder discrimination.
I'm less worried about the stepladder and more worried about why it's there.
Why is the ladder there? Well, it's a climb, right? To reach something on the ceiling?
I still say it's a stepladder. Apollo! Look at that thing. It's huge. That's a TV.
Yeah, a wide flat screen TV. I want one of those.
You'll be wanting for a long time on your salary, Junior. Wait till you're as famous as Mr. Wright was, then dream. I don't think Daddy was ever rich, even when he was in-law.
Great, just stomp on my dreams, why don't you? Actually, quite the opposite. Phoenix was always short on cash when he was a lawyer. There's another Gaviner's poster here.
I'm just about sick of seeing those, personally. Maybe I'll tear it down, haha.
No tampering with the crime scene, Emma.
Maybe there's something else I can tear to shreds. Don't look at me.
What's this poster?
Let's see. This summer, a Legal Eagles production of Case Closed. Looks like a poster for a different show.
One I wouldn't mind seeing real soon.
Oh, Apollo, can I eat some of those, please? Absolutely not. I know.
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't Case Closed the localized version, like the localized name of Detective Conan? Not that I'm at all familiar with Detective Conan, which some people will crucify me for, but...
But still, I yearn.
Look, you're not the only one eyeing that fruit there.
Well then, what are we waiting for? Let's eat. Right.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop it, are you too crazy? Emma, you of all people should know better.
But she tempted me. She's a temptress.
Please grow up. Oh gosh, his body's just still here.
Look, there's a little window over there. Maybe the killer escaped through that.
Barely big enough for me to get my head through.
Not to mention it only opens a crack. What? I was just saying it's possible.
Right, no harm in that. Except I'm pretty sure it is impossible.
You could peek into the room through it though, you know?
Seeing these mirrors lined up like that makes me think I'm really in a dressing room.
You are in a dressing room. This must be makeup. I've never heard of most of these brands. Maybe they're Borginian? All I know is they sure don't make for much of a clue.
How did I get makeup from way over there with the stool? This is one of those, things, right? At the barber's?
A permanent dryer. Want me to curl those bangs of yours?
No thanks.
Better not mess with his hair, Emma. It's part of his identity, you know?
What an amazing bouquet. I mean, it's giant.
Not sure I approve. It'd be better if this flower was a bit more... Oh. The flower fell off.
Happened to preserving a crime scene, Emma.
It's fine. Fine, I'll just put it back, see?
How scientific. This is the murder weapon, isn't it? This revolver?
That's right. A big 45 caliber revolver. Wow. I wonder who brought this in here. I thought only police were allowed to have one of those. Why are you giving me that look? I didn't do it.
I didn't.
Listen, I was out in the hall eating snackoos when it happened.
I know. No one here thinks you did it, Emma.
It's hard to tell with you sometimes, Apollo.
Hey, what have I done?
Wait, if the killer brought a revolver, it must mean they had planned this from the start. That's right? That's a body, isn't it? It sure is. The victim, no less. Let's take a closer look. Go ahead, Apollo. You first.
Me? No, you should go first, Trucy, really.
Will you two stop bickering and get over here?
She's munching on snackoos again. Hope she's not too annoyed.
Is that blood? Why don't you examine this one, Apollo? You know more about, red stuff than I do. Yep.
Says who? Something is strange about this blood, though. Is that what it looks like?
Apollo, look at his hand.
Man, I'm almost out of water.
Apollo, Apollo, look at this hand.
He's holding something.
Hey, no touching. You can throw all the snacks,
You can throw all the snacks you'd like, Emma. But sooner or later, you're gonna run out of them.
You raise a good point. I'm a bit intrigued by this scene. Let's take a look. See there? He's holding something. What's this?
Keyring?
You think it might belong to the killer? It's certainly a possibility.
What an unusual keyring. What unusual keys. This could be a vital clue. Buddy was holding a keyring.
I wonder what it could mean. It must mean something.
Doesn't look like the kind Mr. Latouche would use. So the question is, whose keyring is this?
Well, you're practically a detective there, Apollo. Practically.
But it brings them so much joy to mock me. Okay, Emma, let's have a conversation.
Mr. Romain Latouche, was it? Or wasn't it? He was Lemur's manager, an interpreter apparently. This was his first time in the country. So I'm guessing he didn't know many people here. It doesn't seem likely. Nor can I think of anyone with the motive to murder him. Except for one person, of course. One person? Who?
Lemuror. No one here might have had a motive, but she's from...
What are you talking about?
Hey, it was Emma's idea.
I said nothing.
Always with the snacks. Emma's bag of snacks is just a bag of holding full of snackoos.
He's a big man, or was. I don't think even I would win in a fight against him.
Which is why whoever it was used a revolver, I'm guessing.
We've sent a request to the Borginian embassy for more info on him.
You know, honestly, I really like the idea that Trucy can absolutely throw hands. Like, I subscribe to the Professor Layton style of, like, Trucy doesn't do it often, but she can totally wield a sword.
Well, you and I know more about the crime than anyone. You do?
That's true. It was us who found the body.
Ooh. I guess that's what I missed for watching the concert.
Hey, I wish I was watching the concert. Anything would be better than this.
Well, we know the crime took place during the concert.
When we heard the shot and entered the room, the killer was already gone.
What? But that doesn't make any sense. You came in when you heard the shot and no one was here? How did they leave the room?
That window is a little small, isn't it? Cool. Locked room mystery. Mystery of the disappearing killer. Sort of pin fastener for attaching things to clothes. Not a safety pin type, though.
So, if it's not a safety pin, is it a danger pin?
I suppose if you stuck it in your eye, then yeah, sure. But you could do that with a safety pin too, for that matter.
Thanks for taking the fun out of my danger pin.
Ah, you're driving a danger pin through my heart here. Also, Apollo, what are you talking about? This is literally a safety pin. It's just one of those safety pins with a rotating bit on the end instead of the squeeze to... I do like the idea of the danger pin, though. Okay, I don't know if I'm going crazy, but I think there might be a polygon issue right here when rotating the brooch. I think that from some angles, you can see through it. Maybe I'm just imagining things. Middle of the weapon is a revolving chamber. That's where you load the bullets. A revolver, see?
Revolver. That sounds a bit like Wonder Bar. Especially if you say it really fast.
I guess.
You know what I always used to think? I used to think the closest sound to Wonder Bar was one-liver. There are just so many words in the world, Apollo. Isn't it amazing?
So many different words, so many different people. People like Trucy. Trucy's great, Apollo. Don't you slander her. Goral. There are 3 keys on this heart-shaped keyring. This middle key is shaped like a guitar?
I get it. It must be the key to a guitar case.
Goral. Guitar case key. I'll bet I know who this belongs to. Oh. Apollo. It literally has Prosecutor Gavin's logo on it. You don't need to infer that from the key. It has his logo on it. Whoops. So this is the murder weapon? This revolver's incredibly heavy.
It's been fired twice. You can smell the gunpowder. That's odd.
What's odd?
Oh, nothing. Hey, no fair. Tell us. It's just something about this revolver seems strange.
Strange?
Sorry. I can't comment on anything not scientifically relevant. I am a forensic scientist, after all.
Self-styled one, at least.
What do you think about this revolver?
Well, it's pretty big and heavy.
That's right. It's a .45 caliber. That makes it one of the deadliest revolvers around. Even the police don't carry guns this big.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You don't need so much power to kill at such close range. It's overkill. I'm not sure I see the problem. I mean, whenever I go out to eat curry, I order extra spicy just to be sure it's spicy. Of course, I can only ever eat 1 or 2 bites.
And that's not a problem?
There's another thing about a gun this big. It puts a lot of strain on the shooter. Remember this, because it will be important and ignored later.
Strain?
Yeah, say, if you were to fire this revolver, the recoil would probably dislocate your shoulder. Ouch! It's like the shooter's a victim, too. And yet the killer used this revolver, and quite well. I'm guessing whoever did it was used to shooting.
Used to shooting a high caliber weapon?
Well, that's about it. I think we've looked at just about everything there is.
I guess you're right.
I know how you're feeling. It's hard to know when to stop. But anything more involved has to wait until the squad gets here. I suppose. I'll go report the evidence. I'm sorry, but could you wait here till I get back?
Huh? Oh, actually, we have to...
Great, thanks.
She left.
What do we do, Apollo? She told us to wait.
Great. Now how am I supposed to investigate?
Oh well, I guess it can't be helped. Let's go.
Huh? Go.
Time's a wasting, Apollo. We've got a lot of ground to cover.
Well, that's true, but... On second thought, why not? I'm sure everything will be fine. Famous last words.
Of course it will. Let's go.
Also, I'm surprised that we didn't get a comment on the grate on the ceiling here. That air vent bothers me. Oh. If Emma and I came in through the door, that makes that vent the only exit from the room.
But it's much too small.
Not if the killer were about your size, Trucy.
I didn't do it.
Eh?
I was cutting up the dance floor at the time, thank you.
I know. Of course I didn't think you did it.
It's hard to tell with you sometimes, Apollo.
Hey, what have I done? I didn't realize I could scroll the thing up. Who's there?
We didn't just imagine that, did we?
Wearing a silk hat. Friend of yours?
Hardly.
Whoever that was, he sure looked suspicious. Also, I like the, yeah. Trucy ordering super spicy food only to eat 3 bites, then leave the rest for Phoenix. Gosh, that just reminds me, like, spicy food fucks. Like, I love me some spicy food. Especially, like, chicken tikka kebabs. Those are really, really good. I had a really good, vindaloo curry. I really like Indian food, like... I don't know. Maybe I'm just hungry. Whoever that was, he sure looked suspicious. Can we pick up the earpiece? No.
Looks like nobody's here.
Prosecutor Gavin's probably busy with the case, too. No rest for the wicked.
No rest for us either, Apollo. Let's get rocking. Rock, rock. Look, it's a postcard of Lemrar.
What are these letters at the bottom? I've never seen these before.
It must be your native tongue. Borginian.
Genian, huh? Why is that plastic bowl of stew sitting there?
Maybe they use it for interrogating bad guys. Fess up to what you did and we'll let you eat that stew.
That's just mean.
It gets worse. See, if the bad guy confesses, they say, okay, eat it, if you can. And see, it's made of plastic. It's like you don't know which ones are the real bad guys.
I think you need to take a deep breath, Trucy.
Oh, a cruiser guitar. They sold these to the commemorative they sold those to commemorate 5 years of the band.
Rocking it hard, under the speed limit.
And there's a cruiser bass, a cruiser drum set, a cruiser keyboard, even a cruiser whistle.
I'm not so sure about that last one.
It's for blowing the whistle on criminals.
I don't think that requires an actual whistle, Trucy. Someone drew the Governor's mark in lipstick here.
A lipstick. I'd like to wear lipstick someday.
Oh? You don't use lipstick yet, Trucy?
Daddy won't let me. Not until I learn to play piano, he says.
You'll be waiting a long time then, I'm afraid. Those are some pretty heavy-duty gloves. Maybe they have to carry around hot pots or something.
They're a little thick. I couldn't even stuff a pigeon in those.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That guitar. That's the legendary AA400, the Red Badger.
I thought rock was supposed to be rebellious, not civic.
Every aspiring guitarist wants one of these. They even paint their own guitars to look like this.
Ah, the fickleness of youth.
You should dye your hair badger red, too.
Like my hair the way it is, thank you very much.
Ugh, the stubbornness of age.
Police uniform hangs on the stand here.
Oh, I want to try it on. Nothing to see here. Move along.
It's okay, you don't have to go that far to be special. I mean, you're not exactly the type who's just another face in the crowd.
Really? You think so? I guess you're right.
Now I feel like a meanie for making that insinuation. You are a meanie, Apollo. That was a very rude insinuation. That speaker looks familiar.
Oh?
Yeah, like the one for the PA system back in school.
Oh, we have one of those in my classroom, too.
That's right, she's still in junior high. I feel old. Oh god, 15 would put her in junior high school, wouldn't it? Apollo absolutely has a dedicated Swifties anti-account. Yeah. This place is decorated like a high school dance. Though I think our decorations were paper, not chains.
The Governors are into chains. It's part of their image.
Huh, no kidding.
Ever since they used chains on the cover art for Gonna Lock You Up.
They're really into the whole police thing, aren't they?
It'd be cooler if they turned that red light on.
Wow. I'm not gonna lie. I was not expecting Apollo Justice to make a reference to Roxanne by The Police. Here you go, Sachi. Here's your, The Police reference. I don't have to turn on the red light. Like, genuinely, that actually kind of blindsided me. What is it with today? Problem after problem, Achtung. You ain't kidding.
It's the two leading members of the Governors, Apollo. Clavier on vocals and Darian on the guitar. They're so cool.
I have a hard time thinking of Clavier as anything but a prosecutor, honestly.
Huh? What are they arguing about?
Probably the case, I'd bet.
My hog won't start. My guitar case is busted. My guitar has been burnt to a crisp. And to top it all off, someone's dead. And then there was that performance just now. What was that all about?
Hey man, don't blame me. Also, I like the implication that Darian's jacket can zip all the way up and just cover his head entirely. You were the one who missed the cue.
Me? Miss a cue? How could I conceivably get the most important part of the song wrong? How? And what was all that tinny playing of yours?
Who you calling tinny?
Sounds like they're having a spat. One of those differences in musical directions bands are always splitting up over.
There's hardly the time.
What are you two doing here?
Hiya. Apollo's just silent, like, damn, he looks so good in this lighting.
We were just discussing the investigation, if you don't mind.
Sorry. Wait, what?
Listen. You need to confirm that with the Republic of Borginia, Detective Crescent.
Right. Anything else? What did he just call him? Detective. Ah, greetings. I'm a JoJo character. Darian Crescent, Criminal Affairs Division 3. Hello? Criminal Affairs?
Apollo, you really don't know anything about the Gaviners, do you?
Something tells me that that's about to be remedied. About the crime.
Which crime do you mean?
The murder, what else?
Oh, that. Today has been a hit parade of crimes, you see.
Prosecutor Gavin was singing the blues earlier, wasn't he? Something about his hog and his guitar case.
Anyway.
Something about his hog and his guitar case.
I'm afraid you know more about the killing of Mr. Latouche than I do. For now, at least.
Huh?
You were the one who found the body, huh? While we were in the middle of a performance, no less.
Aren't you going to examine the crime scene, Professor Gavin?
I'll leave that to the Fraulein detective. We wouldn't want to step on her toes.
I do not want to know what happened between Clavier's hog and the guitar case. They're not exactly best buddies, are they? Emma and Prosecutor Gavin, I mean.
Well, what to do next? We've already checked out the scene. Prosecutor Gavin may be right. He might be the most informed for once.
Maybe Prosecutor Gavin can shed some light on things we found. I don't believe you, Apollo. How can you come to this concert and not know about the Gavineers?
It's not surprising. Why, even our ancestors knew nothing of America's existence once.
I know America exists.
The Gaviners aren't just an average rock band, Apollo. Each member is connected to the police somehow.
Police?
The real police. By the day they pack heat, but by night they heat up the stage. By day those lips interrogate. By night they seem... By night, they sing songs of unrequited passion.
Okay.
They debuted 7 years ago with 13 Years, Hard Time for Love. And then came Love with No Chance of Pearl, and My Boyfriend is the Prosecution's Witness.
Yes, Apollo, Gavin is the nephew of Sting himself.
The list of hits goes on and on.
This here is my right-hand man, Darian Crescent. I make the melodies and he attacks them with his guitar. He's a bit of a rogue, really.
This guy's a bit of a perfectionist. When a performance goes the least bit wrong, he goes into this funk. It's like today. Trucy does give off big, like, neurodivergent vibes, doesn't she? I hope the murder would be a bit more off-putting than a ruined concert.
The concert today? A disaster. I'll get to the bottom of this and then we'll see who Mr. Q.
Miss Q. They were arguing about that before.
Great, I love nothing more than questioning tormented artists.
What's this Miss Q you kept talking about?
You heard it, didn't you? From the audience.
Actually, I didn't notice anything.
See? No amateur's gonna pick up on that.
Guarantee an entire audience of amateurs? No. Now take a listen to this.
I'm losing Gavin's voice, I swear.
What's that?
A mixing board.
Oh god, not this. This is part of the reason why people hate this case.
We used it to record our concert tonight.
Aren't we supposed to be investigating a murder?
Well, we've come this far. Might as well go all the way. I've always wanted to learn about the recording industry.
Oh no. This is but one of the devices used in recordings. We're a 5-part band. This lets us record each member's performance separately. You use the sliders to adjust the volume for each part. Check it out.
Wow, neat. So, could you say, hear only the drum part?
Of course. That's how we'll find the criminal guilty of missing his cue tonight.
I'm more concerned with the other criminal, the one who kills people.
Do you want to help on the case? Then help me with mine.
Yes, rock and roll comes before prosecuting.
Let's begin. First, we'll bring up the part of the performance in question. You simply choose the section of the song you wish to hear in the uppermost bar. Like so. There it is. Now listen.
Was something wrong?
You couldn't hear it. Listen again closely.
Ah, the timing's a little off, isn't it?
You see? There, right at the most important part. And even an amateur can hear it.
Amateur with a mixing board, maybe.
You're missing the point. We'll never stamp out crime until we're perfect. Perfect.
Here he goes again.
Right, Herr Amateur, you will prove my point.
Huh? Me?
You will find the missed cue. You will tell us which instrument, which part is the guilty party.
But how?
Did I not just explain it?
Moves the sliders with this, adjust the volume for each part. Then you'll find the part.
I know, you'll find it with your untrained amateur ears.
Nothing to do but try, Apollo.
I guess. I'll admit, this looks kind of fun.
First, a quick review.
Okay.
Once you've found the guilty party, press X to point it out. Time to rock.
I actually genuinely can't tell what it's trying to, like... I can't tell what part of this it's trying to make me see. It's not the drum, is it? You can see why people hate this stupid soundboard, right? Oh. I don't even know what I'm looking for. Like, genuinely. I'm just gonna present the drums.
Take that!
This part sounds a little off.
Let's see. Air forehead.
Yes?
Let me guess. You got a D in high school chorus, didn't you?
How do you know?
This part is perfection. Absolute perfection. I'd bet all the royalties for my last platinum-selling album on it. The guilty part is elsewhere.
It's not the drums, because the drums is literally just the one I just pointed out. Yeah, I know you sold a bazillion records.
Focus, Apollo. I'll cheer you on.
Actually, it's probably better you stay quiet. Let me give this another shot. Okay, so it's not number 5. We can turn that off. Is it the piano?
Take that!
This part sounds a little off.
Let's see.
Yep, got a D. It's not the piano. Bass. This part is off.
Which is that? Second guitar.
Ah.
It was you, Darian.
Oh well, looks like cat's out of the bag.
Well, is that all you have to say? That kind of attitude lets killers walk free, Darian.
It's...
Here they go again.
Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to ask about the concert. Honestly, I feel like the issue with that is that there wasn't anything to compare it against. I feel like there should have been a... Like, oh, you know, hey, this is a version that we recorded before. Listen to this, and then listen to the live version that we just did. And you can see who has the incorrect cue. And it's starting to feel like we're just wasting time.
It's all experience under our belts. That can't be bad.
Still can't get over the title for that song. Guilty Love. I'm gonna point a gun at you, Clavier.
Sorry, but I'm not in the mood to talk about that right now. Even I can only take so much in one day.
Funny, I always thought of Prosecutor Gavin as one of those cool stoic types. Sort that never complains. How wrong I was. I think what I was supposed to be pointing out there is, I think that the second guitar came in slightly late, is what I was supposed to point out. I was wondering if you knew anything about this. Does it look familiar? Familiar? It's mine. That's my keyring. I've been looking for it, I've been looking all over for it.
What? This is yours, Mr. Gavin.
Yep.
Fraulein, it literally has my logo on it.
I knew it.
Apollo, how can you make that I knew it face? This is the keyring that was...
Yeah, I know.
Thanks anyway. So, where did you find it?
Actually, the victim was holding it. He was trying to keep it from the killer, even if it meant his life.
What? The victim? You mean Mr. Latouche had my keys?
Indeed.
When will my trials be over?
Speaking of trials, I've never heard Gavin whine in court like he's been today, or like he has been today.
Emma was right about the fop, I'll give her that.
Apollo, Mr. Gavin, maybe we can help. Tell us about your troubles today.
I really don't think that's...
Tell us. And we'll keep mum about the keyring for now.
Are you blackmailing me, Fraulein?
Are you saying something about your motorcycle not starting?
And something about your guitar case being busted.
You're well informed.
You mentioned it a few times.
It all happened this morning. It's all this keyring's fault.
The keyring?
It's got all my keys on it, yeah? My bike key, my car key, and the key to my guitar case.
Wait, so this keyring...
It disappeared. Fraulein, don't you know this is against the law? I thought I'd put it back in my jacket pocket.
Prosecutor Gavin's keyring disappeared?
I had to come to the concert by taxi. How embarrassing. And in order to get my guitar out, I had to break the lock.
Wait, this guitar wasn't the one that...
The very one. Up in flames. Right on stage, too.
I actually thought that was part of the show.
Crazy. And to top it off, Mr. Latouche's life was taken. Nobody told me about days like these.
Strange days indeed.
You think?
What's wrong, Trucy?
Well, I was just trying to make sense of everything. First, this heart-shaped keyring gets stolen. Then a very expensive guitar flares up on stage. Then Mr. Latouche dies.
Yes, and?
Could it all really just be a coincidence?
Coincidence? Meaning? Darian, can you make any sense of all this?
Hey, don't look at me.
What do you think, Apollo?
Huh?
I mean, either Mr. Gavin's having a really bad day, or all of this was planned.
You aren't thinking what I think you're thinking. Are you, Fraulein?
I am.
What? What? Hey, don't leave me in the dark with Spike here. Name's Apollo, but yeah, I agree. Don't leave us in the dark. What are you talking about?
Haven't you noticed a connection, Apollo? A curious connection between all of Mr. Gavin's troubles today.
Well, yeah, kinda. You know, something was bugging me too. That keyring and the guitar and the body.
Slow down there, Polly. You look a wee bit dizzy.
He's bluffing. He hasn't figured it out. That's up. You're a man, you're as clueless as I am. Huh?
No, give Air Forehead a chance. Let's see your evidence of this connection, shall we?
Evidence? Better think of something pronto.
Come on, let's see it. What's the connection between all of Mr. Gavin's troubles?
The keys, right?
Take that!
Connection is this, right?
I would say you're close, but really you're kind of far. Remote, even.
Oops, try not to anger the Trucy, Apollo. No sudden motions, just find that evidence slowly. Oh, okay.
Take that!
It's this, isn't it? Lyric sheet. Guitar's Serenade. What's that got to do with anything?
It has everything to do with everything. So, I wouldn't have believed it if the Fraulein hadn't pointed it out.
What are you talking about, man? Enough with the riddles.
Maybe it is a coincidence.
Coincidence. Wow. Attempting to do a shitty German accent, brain overdrive, I guess.
Maybe it is a coincidence, or perhaps it means something. Don't you think, Fraulein?
I do. Everything that's happened to Mr. Gavin today is predicted in the lyrics to this song.
What? No way.
Look, just think about everything that's happened to Mr. Gavin. Let's list them in the order they occurred. While reading this lyric sheet,
First, the keyring was stolen.
and not just any keyring, a heart-shaped keyring.
That's right here. When you stole away the keys to my heart and held on so tight. And this is a heart holding keys.
And next, his guitar burst into flame.
Burning on in my heart, fire burned my love away.
And then Mr. Latouche was killed.
A bullet of love, fire, take my life away. But that's crazy.
Yeah, no kidding.
So everything that happened today here, the song predicted it all?
Or perhaps it was the other way around.
Huh?
The criminal could have based their crime on the lyrics.
But who would go through all that trouble?
Someone who moves in mysterious ways, no doubt. I believe you've stumbled upon something quite vital. And quite annoying, Fraulein.
I love this sprite. It's so cute. Sure, she looks so pleased. Eric's predicting the crime. Clavier?
It seems a bit more than just a
Coincidence. Why?
It seems a bit more than just a coincidence to me.
I have to agree. Keyring, the guitar, the murder. Keyring might have been dropped by accident. Yet the
keyring might have been dropped by accident, yet the victim was holding it. Hard to think that it was unconnected.
It's true. Prosecutor Gavin's as calm and collected as ever.
And so, the criminal matched their actions to the lyrics. Wow, why did that sentence be so hard?
Sounds likely. Why would anyone do that? While we think about that, I'm gonna get cracking on the biggest crime here. I'm gonna talk to the Borginia embassy about this, Mr. Latouche. Ah, right. Thanks, Darian. I'll leave the pondering of the mysteries to you. I'm out of here. Foreign national, Mr. Latouche was killed. It seems that that would have to be the point of all this. But they did more than that. They left us with not only a murder, but a mystery.
Mr. Gavin sure is irritable today.
Maybe this is the real Prosecutor Gavin we don't even get to see in the courtroom.
I've had enough, frankly. If you find any more mysteries, do me a favor and keep them to yourselves, yeah?
Yeah. I guess this is all we're going to get from Prosecutor Gavin. That leaves Lemureur to question. Prosecutor Gavin, do you know where Lemureur is now?
I had her go to my dressing room. With that pianist, Machi Tobae, of course. She seemed rather shocked by Mr. Latouche's sudden passing.
The Gaviner's dressing room. Got it. Oh. Who's there? There he goes again. Who is that guy? Huh? Trucy?
You know, he did look sort of familiar.
So he is a friend of yours.
No, that's not it. Sorry, I don't remember.
Curiouser and curiouser. And with that, we will save. So, thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Fingers crossed, I should be back with more of this tomorrow. Otherwise, give me a minute. Gosh, Trucy, it's the Blue Badger hitting the Yoinky Splinky. But yeah, give me a sec and we'll find someone to raid. Ando streaming. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I should hopefully be back with more of this tomorrow, unless my brain decides something else. Otherwise, I guess, have a good one, and take care.